Cool. We got white against Alexei from France. Go with the D4 opening. Give you a Trompowsky. Whole idea with the Trompowsky is if he develops further on, I can immediately at my third move take this knight and ruin his structure somehow from protecting his king and pushing the e4 pawn at the very least. So we'll see. Let's see what he does. Alright, so he's doubled up on his pawns here, which is good for me. I feel like I should just continue developing here. With the idea that we're going to go c4, if takes, then bishop takes. Or we'll just counter his bishop there. So we'll just develop our knight, get the bishop here to d3, and yeah, get the bishop to d3 and castle. Trying to think now. He might bring out his bishop over to f5. Might push the c pawn up to c5, get his knight out. At least that's what I would do. The idea behind him pushing this pawn is if I take, then he can take back, and then his bishop is on this nice diagonal here. So I would probably not take it. I want to keep my pawns here in the center. All right. And then I might try to develop my other knight first and then castle. Depends on what he does. If I put my bishop here on d3, prevents his bishop from coming out. It's kind of a more passive bishop that I can only go to d7 or e6. You can also go there. If this pawn wasn't here, I could go bishop, sorry, arrows off. I can go bishop takes, king takes, knight check, and he moves, I don't know, maybe the king back, and then I could take this bishop here. Because this pawn's here, I can't do that. So let's develop our other knight. See if he tries to take. See, if I were him, I would have developed this pawn first. Move the pawn first, then get the bishop out. And then you need to have better development. And this pawn isn't just sitting here trapped on c7. Alright, brings his rook into the game. Let's see. Now here's the benefit where, because I traded that bishop for his knight over here on f6. I can now push this up if takes. If takes, then takes. And he can't take back with the rook because then I'll take it with my bishop. I think that's the right move. We'll see. Alright, so this is what I was saying. To take with the bishop or to take with the knight? If I take with the knight, I can attack his bishop right here. If I take with the bishop, I'm attacking this other knight here. But and if I take that, then he has to take back. And doubling up more of his pawns, which would be kind of funny. Alternatively, I could take there and he can move his rook back. If I move up to attack it, he can't move it back anywhere else. So let's take with the bishop. I think I have better counterplay to be able to screw up his position here. So he'll end up with at least double pawns here. And if he moves his knight, I'll just push my pawns up. Okay, so see, he defends his knight with the queens, which is the right move. Otherwise, I'd have had a good move there. He knows it, so he gave it thought. That was good. Good counter. Let's think about this. If I feel like he's going to start pressuring here, so I should move my bishop. Yeah, my bishop can go here. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other benefit. You know what? Let's drop my bishop back, and then I can develop my knight again. Either way. But I really do want to kick this bishop out. That is a very annoying bishop right now. I think we just got to restructure a little bit here. Add some defenders to my knights. Let's see. If Trey's, that'd be great for me. So he's probably not going to do that. He reinforced by pushing. You try to get this knight a little more active by playing out here, jumping here, aiming for this weak pawn. So I have a weakness right here on this at this pawn, same as his weakness. So what I think I'm gonna do is move this rook over to e1. Then I can move my queen out. And attack this weak pawn on his side. He can just defend. And Because I'm not sure what I would do from there. Alright, so he's doubling up. Let's do the same. Alright, so if I move my knight out of the way, he comes with his queen. I have to take this way with my queen. He'll come with his rook. Sorry, keep missing the wrong arrows. And then I'll take back with my rook. And my knights are still defended at least. Ah. Interesting game. Take with the bishop, attack the knight, and trade queens and rooks. Or take with the bishop, or sorry, take with the knight. And then I can jump over here with the idea of going over to f5. I like that idea a little better. Yeah, he has to do something with either with this knight or start pushing these pawns. Maybe. Because I could push this pawn. And if he were to go here, I could take with my knight, but then he'd go to take with this pawn, and then he would fix his pawn structure, which I don't want. Ah, so he did play that to weaken his king side. But he prevents me from going to h4 and then over to f5, which is exactly what I wanted to do. He knew that. He knew exactly what I was trying to do. That's funny. Well done, dude. Alright, there. I attack his queen. He can't take to trade because then I'll be able to take it with my knight. As he sees. Curious. If I take with my knight, I take back with this pawn, and I go queen h5, how does he defend h7 check? I don't think he can. The alternative is immediately h7 check. King takes. Yeah, I guess that would just be a waste, wouldn't it? Because I would have to sacrifice both of these to then get my queen right here. He could go back. Okay, let's try that. The only thing that would suck now is if he does take my rook, because then that kind of defeats the purpose, but I can kind of get the position back. So this is a bold sacrifice and not playing it safe, which is what I totally should be doing, but I'm not. I'm going for the aggressive attack mode. And it's really betting on him taking this knight with this pawn. Which he did. I would have traded rooks first if I were him. That's what he should have done. And If I can get here, he has to go here. All I have to do is go to h8, and that is checkmate because the king cannot escape this way because of this nice rook taking over the e file. And that's why the rooks haven't been traded yet. Both of us want control of the e file. I'm pretty sure this is winning, but I don't know yet. For him to defend this, he might have to go rook e6. If I go here, he goes here, and I go h8. Oh no. Actually, that was a really good way to defend that. I'm curious. Because now if I exchange and I take it with this bishop, he takes with this queen to trade queens. And then I can grab that rook. He's down 2 rooks. I'm down a bishop. And a rook. That might actually be checkmate too. But let's see if that works out. Maybe I can turn the light here. The alternative would be to push the king away. This g7 wouldn't work because queen g6 check. And then h8 doesn't work because my bishop can just fall back to here, check. And if he doesn't defend with his queen, I can take his queen with my bishop while he's in check. Hopefully he tries to trade queens, and I believe that that is checkmate. I'm sorry. Yeah, if he takes my bishop, I can take his rook, and I believe that's checkmate. Because his king won't be able to go here, here. He can't go there, so he's forced to go down to g7. And then from there, all right, so if queen takes, check, king g7, and I can't go here because this bishop is guarding that square. So I have to go here to check again. He moved back. And I don't want to trade the queens at that point, because then he's up material. Right now he's just up a pawn. Or materially, he's up a pawn because he's up 1. I have more pawns than he does, but he had an extra piece. He's up a bit. He's up a knight that I don't have, but I am up on That's exactly what happened. Yeah, so in here, when I'm down material like this, I don't want to trade necessarily. Unless it helps. He'll have to go up here though, so his queen's still defended. Actually, he can't go. He can't go here because I can just take the queen for free. So he has to go H8, G7, G8, or yeah, Queen G6 or King G6. I kind of want him to maneuver his king a little bit, hopefully in a worse direction. He defends with the queen. He can come down here for a check. He can go back up. And I can somehow try to get these pawns activated, bring them in the game. I need to do something about this bishop too. So that he'll want to exchange that with me. He pushes this pawn. Ah, he did. Okay. He'll just go back by one. That way I can push this pawn up. He'll have to move his bishop back this way. And my next goal is to utilize this rook. Right now I only have one active piece, the queen. I gotta make this rook active, control the E file. Then if I can move my queen over to C4, I can move my rook up and get him somehow activated to attack the king, supported by the queen. Or a pawn if I push this pawn up. So we'll see. What I have going for me is I have a rook. I can take control of the E file, and my king is safe behind these pawns. His king's out here over on the third file, third rank. A lot more in danger than mine is, as of right now. And I have more pawns. I have a good pawn structure here in the center. That's given me way more mobility for my pieces. A great example of why they say to always control the center, because you can see here how much more mobility I've had. Just attack the bishop. Let's get our rook involved. Finally. You know. Block this square for the knight. So he can't go to D5 and also, I could push this up, attack the bishop, make it go. Actually, it's trapped there if he doesn't move any of these pawns. Which he might do it now. You can move. I can move this pawn up then and check the king. But if he does not move, this traps the bishop. Oh shit. Sorry. Oh. So he wants to attack. Guess I can just go for a check now. And if he goes f7, I can go queen e3. Actually, no, I'll go queen e2. Because I wouldn't want him to push this bishop back here, forcing me to take the bishop, and then he can take my rook with the king if he moves to f7. Yeah, see. I could have also pushed the pawn up, and that would have helped defend the rook, which I can still do. But see, I'm also a lot better on time, so I have time to think. Let's see. What I don't want him to do is move this knight. He could, I guess. That'd be fine. However, right now I can't take the knight because he's guarding it with his bishop. But I can push up with the queen. And take this pawn. Oh, he saw that too, huh? Alright. I could also just block his bishop off. Now his bishop can't defend that knight. And that is how you remove a defender. Yeah, the one just starting to go queen f6, and if he defends that, then queen c7. However, we can give a nice check right here. King has to move. I can take the queen. Takes with the king. Depending where the knight goes. If it moves, I can take this pawn. So let's see if that happens. trying to think. If he goes here, well, that's an easy exchange. For example, if he goes queen g7, I was gonna say I could take. He'd take with his king, and I could take the knight with my rook. So that was a really good move for him. Except go there. He has to go g7, and I can just check with my queen. Yeah, she'd resign because either that from there. I mean, I'm winning the queen or I'm checkmating him immediately. So that's good. That's really good.